Elias Hart stood on the observation deck of the human research station, staring at the alien horizon with a mixture of awe and relief. The twin suns of Xiphora cast a golden glow over the jagged crystal formations that rose like towers from the ground, their surfaces reflecting light in every direction. For months, he had lived among these strange landscapes, cataloging life forms, mapping crystal fields, and analyzing the planet's unique energy patterns. Finally, the mission was complete. At least, that was what he thought. "Elias, you okay?" came a voice from behind. Lieutenant Mara Chen, his second-in-command, stepped onto the deck. Her usual calm demeanor was softened by the hint of a smile. "You've been staring out here for hours. I think even the sensors are tired of your gazing." Elias chuckled quietly. "I suppose I'm just taking it all in. Months on Xiphora, and now it's time to go home. But it doesn't feel real yet." Mara nodded. "It always hits like that, leaving a place you've spent so much time on, especially one this beautiful." She gestured toward the crystal towers. "Humans have a way of leaving a mark wherever they go, Elias. You've done good work here." Elias smiled, but his mind wandered. The mission had been more than just cataloging crystals and alien species. Humans had faced extreme environments before, but Xiphora pushed their ingenuity to its limits. The team had devised new ways to collect energy readings without disturbing the planet's ecosystem, navigated forests filled with bioluminescent predators, and developed systems to communicate with the more intelligent species on the planet. Every problem had demanded a solution, and every solution reminded Elias of the resilience and cleverness of humanity. The transport ship was waiting in orbit. Its engines hummed faintly through the station's structure, a constant reminder that their journey home was imminent. Elias's chest tightened as he thought about Earth, the familiar blue and green world, the smell of rain on soil, and the laughter of friends and family he had missed. Yet something about leaving Xiphora felt incomplete, like a chapter in a book left unfinished. He turned to Mara. "Do you ever feel like humanity belongs more out here than we do at home?" Mara raised an eyebrow. "Out here? Among these crystal towers and alien species? Maybe. But humans adapt. That's what makes us special. We survive. We learn. We grow. We belong wherever we decide to belong." Elias nodded. She was right, of course. Humans had always thrived by finding strength in challenges, by thinking creatively, by building connections with one another, and even sometimes with other species. That adaptability was what had allowed them to reach stars and planets that others could only dream about. As he turned back to the viewport, a shadow flickered across the landing platform outside. He frowned. At first, he thought it was a shuttle crew member, perhaps performing last-minute checks, but the figure was far too tall, too symmetrical, and it moved with an elegance that seemed almost unreal. "Elias?" Mara's voice brought him back. He pointed. "Look at that. Do you see it?" Mara's eyes widened. "By the stars. Is that—" Before she could finish, the figure stepped closer. It was humanoid in shape, but far larger than any human. Its skin shimmered with iridescent patterns, constantly changing, reflecting the sunlight in dazzling displays. Its head was elongated with multiple eyes that seemed to shift colors as it moved. Despite its alien form, there was a sense of intelligence, of presence, that made Elias's heart beat faster. Then he realized it wasn't just a creature. It was the Queen. A voice, soft yet powerful, filled his mind. "Elias Hart, you are ready to leave. Yet you shall not go." Not yet. Elias froze. Telepathy. He had read about species capable of communicating directly with thoughts, but he had never experienced it firsthand. And now it was happening. I don't understand," he said aloud, though he knew she could hear him without words. "You are human. You have completed your mission. Yet your species shows potential beyond mere survival. I wish to observe you further, to know if your kind is worthy of joining the wider cosmos." Mara's hand found his shoulder. "Do you understand what she's saying?" Elias nodded slowly. "She's curious. About us. Humans. Curious," the voice repeated in his mind. "Your ingenuity, your persistence, your courage. I wish to see it for myself." Elias swallowed hard. Months of anticipation, the thought of returning home, and suddenly he was being told he couldn't leave. The Queen was not hostile, but her will was absolute. And yet, there was no fear in her communication, only a desire to know. What do you want me to do?" he asked. "Learn, demonstrate, show what your species is capable of." The Queen's message was clear. She was not detaining him as a prisoner, but as a participant in a test, one that would reveal the strengths of humanity. Elias glanced at Mara, whose expression mixed worry with fascination. "This could take time," Mara whispered. "Are you ready for that?" Elias took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. Humans had always faced impossible challenges, and somehow they had found ways to rise above them. This was another challenge, unlike any other, a chance to prove, not just to the Queen, but to the galaxy, what humanity could accomplish. He stepped forward toward the landing platform, the Queen moving in synchrony, her towering form reflecting the sunlight in waves. The air was electric, charged with possibility. Elias could feel it in every nerve. This encounter was not a threat, it was an opportunity. The Queen extended a limb-like appendage, touching a crystal embedded in the ground. The energy from the crystal pulsed outward, creating a holographic map of the surrounding area. Forests, rivers, crystalline mountains, all lit up in brilliant color. The Queen projected a series of symbols and images, showing scenarios of danger, resourcefulness, and survival. Elias studied the holograms carefully. They depicted situations humans might encounter, tests of strength, intelligence, and morality. The Queen was not just interested in raw power or cunning. She wanted to see how humans think, how they make decisions, and how they lead. Mara glanced at him, her eyes shining. "It's a challenge," she said. "One we can actually meet." Elias nodded, feeling a surge of determination. Humans had always faced odds that seemed insurmountable. On Zyphora, they had navigated alien predators, treacherous terrain, and even their own fears. And they had done so with creativity, compassion, and courage. If the Queen wanted a demonstration of humanity's best, he would give it. "You will begin with the first test," the Queen's voice echoed in his mind. "It is not merely a trial of skill, but of heart and mind. You must show me why your kind endures." Elias glanced at Mara again. "We can do this. Together." She smiled, a flicker of excitement breaking through the tension. "Then let's show her what humans are made of." The first challenge appeared immediately. A holographic landscape shimmered into existence around them, simulating a valley prone to collapse. Crystal spires jutted from the ground, and in the distance, a group of alien creatures seemed trapped by rising energy fields. Elias understood instantly. They were being asked to rescue the creatures and stabilize the terrain without causing harm. He took a deep breath. "All right. Step 1. Assess the situation." Mara scanned the hologram. "The energy is unstable, but we can redirect it using the portable stabilizers. The creatures, they need guidance. We'll need to work fast." Elias nodded, appreciating the simplicity of the problem, but also the underlying test. It was about teamwork, decision-making, and ethical action. Humans excelled not because they were the strongest, but because they were adaptable, creative, and moral. As they moved through the holographic terrain, Elias couldn't help but marvel at the Queen's design. The challenges were complex, layered, and fair, demanding ingenuity and patience. Every decision mattered, and every action reflected on humanity. Hours, or perhaps days, passed in the simulation. Time felt distorted, measured only by progress and the pulse of the crystals. Elias and Mara worked tirelessly, combining their knowledge of technology, human intuition, and leadership skills. Slowly, the trapped creatures were guided to safety, and the energy field stabilized. When the simulation ended, the Queen's presence enveloped them once more. "You have done well," her voice resonated in Elias's mind. "This is only the beginning. There is more to see, more to demonstrate, more to understand." Elias exhaled, his heart still pounding from the intensity of the first challenge. He looked at Mara, who was smiling despite exhaustion. "We did it," she said. "Yes," Elias replied. "But this is just the start. If she wants to see humanity at its best, we're going to have to show her everything we've got." The Queen's form shimmered in acknowledgement, a silent promise that the next trial would come. And as Elias gazed once more at the alien horizon, he realized that his mission had not ended after all. Earth was waiting. Yes, but so was a new chapter, one where humans would prove, not just to themselves, but to the galaxy, what they were capable of. And so, standing on Zyphora, Elias' heart prepared for the challenges ahead, knowing that humanity's true test had only just begun. The first challenge had left Elias and Mara exhausted, yet a strange exhilaration filled them both. The Queen had observed humanity's response to the simulation, and it was clear she was not disappointed. Her presence lingered like a warm light, invisible yet deeply felt, surrounding the research station and the landing platform where they had first met her. Elias could still hear her voice in his mind. This was only the beginning. There is more to test, more to understand, more to see of what your species can do. Mara sat down, stretching her legs after the long session. "I can't believe she's putting us through this, but it's amazing. She's actually trying to see what humans are capable of, not just trapping us." Elias nodded, his gaze drifting to the twin suns above the horizon. "It's more than a test. It's a chance to show humanity at its best. And not just strength, but our creativity, our sense of morality, and how we solve problems. That's what she's looking for." Before Mara could respond, the holographic terrain shifted again, and the Queen's presence became more tangible. The next challenge begins now. It is not only of mind and skill, but of compassion and judgment. "Are you ready?" Elias took a deep breath. "We don't have a choice, Mara. Let's do this." Immediately, the station's environment transformed. The walls shimmered, and a new holographic landscape unfolded around them. They were now in a dense, forested valley with towering trees whose leaves glowed faintly in the dim sunlight. Streams of sparkling water crisscrossed the terrain, and in the distance, they could see the faint outline of alien creatures trapped by a fast-rising flood. "These aren't simulations anymore," Mara whispered. "Look at them. They're real. They're alive." Elias's heart tightened. The creatures were unlike anything humans had cataloged before. Their bodies were semi-transparent, glowing faintly, with multiple limbs that allowed them to cling to the fragile cliff faces. The floodwaters were rising rapidly, threatening to sweep them away. "You must act wisely," the Queen's voice filled Elias's mind. "Your species must show care, intelligence, and ethical judgment. Save what can be saved and choose wisely what cannot." Elias glanced at Mara. "We need to stabilize the environment while helping them escape. It's not just about saving every single one. Some might not survive. But we have to maximize what we can do without causing further harm." Mara nodded. "Let's divide tasks. I'll focus on the creatures near the cliffs. You handle the water flow and stabilize the terrain. We'll communicate constantly." Elias moved quickly to the stream, analyzing the crystalline structures lining its banks. Using the portable stabilizers they had developed for the first challenge, he began redirecting the water toward natural channels, slowing the flood's advance. He adjusted the energy field parameters with careful precision, ensuring the environment remained as undisturbed as possible. Every decision had consequences. One wrong calculation could injure the creatures or destabilize the terrain. Meanwhile, Mara guided the trapped creatures down makeshift bridges she fashioned from fallen branches and energy-reinforced cables. She spoke to them in gentle tones, knowing that even if they didn't understand words, her presence and actions conveyed intent. Her patience and care were a testament to human empathy, a quality that set their species apart in the galaxy. Hours passed. The flood slowed, the creatures found safety, and the valley stabilized. Elias and Mara collapsed on a nearby rock, exhausted but exhilarated. "You have acted with compassion and intelligence," the Queen said in their minds. "You have shown the judgment and foresight of your species. Yet there is more. Leadership is the next test." Elias groaned lightly. "Leadership? We've been through physical and moral challenges. Now we have to demonstrate leadership?" Mara smiled tiredly. "Looks like it. But it makes sense. Humans are known for leading teams, forming societies, and making difficult choices. This is probably where she wants to see our decision-making on a bigger scale." The forest around them shimmered and changed again. The new scenario was more complex. A small group of alien settlers had been displaced by seismic activity in the valley. Some were injured, some frightened, and some confused. They had supplies, but their shelter had been destroyed. The challenge was clear. Elias and Mara had to organize a rescue, provide aid, and relocate the aliens to safety, all while navigating unpredictable terrain and maintaining morale. Elias took a deep breath. "We can do this. Humans are good at teamwork. We just need to stay calm, communicate, and adapt." He turned to Mara. "Let's start by assessing resources and assigning roles. Who can help carry the injured? Who can gather supplies? Who can scout the safest path?" Mara nodded. "Agreed. I'll handle communication with the aliens and manage supplies. You focus on strategy and coordination." As they worked, Elias observed the alien group closely. Though their biology was different, their behavior revealed fear, hesitation, and the need for guidance, emotions humans understood well. Elias used his experience in leadership to calm them, offering reassurance and clear instructions. Mara translated and guided the aliens, showing empathy and patience, while Elias monitored the environment for dangers like falling rocks or unstable ground. The process was slow, but the team adapted. Each decision was a blend of human intuition and logical analysis. When a rock slide threatened the main path, Elias quickly rerouted the group using alternative trails, keeping the injured safe. When some aliens panicked, Mara's gentle encouragement and the clear organization reassured them. Through every action, Elias felt the Queen's presence, observing, measuring, and evaluating. He realized that this challenge was not just about saving lives, but about demonstrating the human ability to lead, to protect, and to inspire trust in others. By the time the valley was secure and the aliens settled in a temporary camp, Elias and Mara were exhausted. Yet they felt a deep satisfaction. They had succeeded not through brute force, but through teamwork, compassion, and careful judgment. "You have shown leadership and moral strength," the Queen's voice resonated in their minds. "Your species possesses qualities worthy of respect. Yet the greatest test remains, the test of ingenuity." Elias exhaled. "Ingenuity? We've already done so much. What more could she want from us?" Mara shrugged. "I don't know, but I have a feeling it's going to be complicated." Almost immediately, the environment shifted again. The valley faded, replaced by a barren landscape dotted with massive crystal structures. The ground was cracked, unstable, and treacherous. A massive energy surge emanated from the largest crystal, threatening to destabilize the entire area. Elias understood instantly. This was a test of human innovation and problem-solving under extreme conditions. "We need to stabilize that crystal," he said. "If it collapses, the whole area could be destroyed, and we need to do it safely." Mara examined the crystal carefully. "It's emitting unstable energy. Standard stabilizers won't work. We need a new approach." Elias's mind raced. Human ingenuity was about finding solutions where none seemed possible, adapting technology and using knowledge creatively. He combined his understanding of the stabilizers with ideas inspired by the alien technology he had studied. Using a series of carefully aligned energy conduits and reflective surfaces, he created a controlled pathway to absorb and redirect the crystal's energy. It was risky, but he calculated the odds carefully. Mara assisted, adjusting conduits and monitoring energy flow. Together, they worked tirelessly, improvising solutions when the system faltered and recalibrating as needed. The Queen observed silently, her presence a constant reminder that failure was not an option. Finally, after tense hours, the energy surge was contained. The crystal stabilized, and the landscape returned to a safe condition. Elias and Mara collapsed in relief. They had succeeded not just by following instructions, but by inventing, adapting, and thinking beyond known limits, hallmarks of human ingenuity. "You have proven your species' worth," the Queen's voice finally said, her tone carrying warmth and admiration, courage, morality, leadership, and ingenuity. These are the qualities that make humans remarkable. You have exceeded expectations. Elias stood slowly, feeling the weight of her words. "So, we've passed the tests?" he asked, though part of him knew this was only the beginning. "You have shown that humanity is capable of more than survival. You are capable of greatness, yet there is still much to learn and much to show. Prepare for the final trials, and you will see your species in a new light." Mara looked at him, eyes wide. "We did it. We really did it. She's impressed with humans." Elias nodded. "Yes, but we can't stop here. She wants to see our full potential. And if we show her, the galaxy might finally understand what humans are truly capable of." The sun dipped low on the horizon, casting long shadows over the alien landscape. Elias felt a renewed sense of purpose. Earth awaited, yes, but here on Zephora, among the crystal towers and alien wonders, humanity was being tested, observed, and respected. And for the first time, Elias realized that this mission, though it had officially ended, was evolving into something far greater. Humanity was no longer just a species exploring the stars. They were a species proving their worth to the universe, and he had the honor of representing them. The Queen's presence lingered, silent but palpable, as if she were watching not just their actions, but their hearts. Elias knew that the next phase would test them in ways they could not yet imagine. Yet for the first time, he felt no fear. Humans had faced the impossible before, and they would rise to meet this challenge too. With Mara at his side, Elias prepared for the trials yet to come, knowing that the true measure of humanity was still unfolding. Elias and Mara had faced the Queen's tests of compassion, leadership, and ingenuity. They had proven that humans could care, adapt, and solve problems in alien environments. Yet as Elias stood on the edge of the Crystal Valley, staring at the horizon, he sensed that the Queen's final challenge would be unlike anything they had encountered so far. The air shimmered, thick with energy. A low hum vibrated through the ground beneath their feet. The Queen's presence filled Elias's mind once more. The time has come for the greatest trial. You must not only show what humans can do, but why your species is worthy to join the galaxy. The fate of many may rest on your actions." Elias's pulse quickened. Mara stepped beside him, her expression steady. "Whatever comes next, we handle it together," she said. Elias nodded. "We've come this far. Humans don't give up. Not now, not ever." Suddenly, the landscape around them transformed. The Crystal Valley faded, replaced by a vast canyon, its walls jagged and shimmering with embedded energy crystals. In the distance, a massive energy storm swirled, tearing through the terrain and threatening a colony of alien species who had settled along the canyon floor. The storm moved unpredictably, destroying shelters and scattering resources. The aliens were panicked, running in every direction, unsure of where to go. Elias's mind raced. This was not a simulation. This was a real crisis. Lives were at stake. Humans had faced disasters before, but the scale of this was staggering. Yet he knew the Queen had chosen him and Mara because of humanity's ability to think clearly under pressure and act decisively. "First, we need to organize the aliens and get them to safety," Elias said, his voice calm despite the urgency. "We divide them into groups based on their abilities. Those who can climb or move quickly go first. The injured stay together, and we provide support." Mara quickly implemented the plan, guiding the aliens and using their tools to create temporary shelters and energy shields to protect the most vulnerable. She moved with efficiency and care, her actions embodying the very essence of human empathy and coordination. Elias focused on the energy storm. It was massive, and its fluctuations were unpredictable. Using the portable stabilizers and energy conduits they had invented for the previous test, he began analyzing the storm's movement. He realized that its core energy could be redirected, but it required a daring and precise approach. "We have to channel the storm's energy into the crystal formations," he told Mara. "It's risky, but it could neutralize the storm before it causes more damage." Mara nodded. "We can do it. Humans have always found ways to turn danger into opportunity." Together they worked with the aliens, showing them how to assist in the stabilization efforts. The aliens were initially hesitant, but Elias and Mara's clear instructions and calm determination inspired trust. Slowly, the group became coordinated, blending human ingenuity with alien strength. Elias climbed to the highest crystal outcrop, adjusting conduits to direct the storm's energy. Sparks of energy crackled around him, but he remained focused, calculating angles, timing, and energy flow. Mara monitored the ground, ensuring the aliens were safe and guiding the groups to stability points. Hours passed in tense effort. The storm shifted unpredictably, forcing Elias to adapt repeatedly. Yet every time a new challenge arose, he found a solution. He anchored conduits to the crystals, rerouted energy paths, and guided the aliens to safety. His mind worked like a machine, but it was fueled by human creativity, courage, and resilience. At one point, a massive surge threatened to tear the main conduit from its anchoring. Elias leapt into action, securing the connection just as the energy pulse struck. Sparks flew, illuminating the canyon in brilliant flashes, and for a moment he felt the raw power of the storm, a force beyond comprehension. Yet he did not falter. Humans were adaptable. Humans were brave. Humans could turn impossible odds into victories. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the energy conduits held. The storm's core energy was safely redirected into the crystal formations, stabilizing the canyon and preventing further destruction. The aliens, guided by human leadership, had reached safe zones, and the temporary shelters held strong. Elias collapsed onto the ground, gasping for breath. Mara joined him, her expression a mixture of exhaustion and pride. "We did it," she said softly. "We actually did it." Elias nodded, looking around at the calm after the storm. The aliens, once terrified and scattered, now moved with purpose, rebuilding and helping one another. It was a scene that spoke volumes, not just about human ingenuity, but about human leadership and inspiration. The Queen's presence returned, surrounding them with warmth and admiration. "You have surpassed all expectations," she said in Elias's mind. "You have demonstrated courage, wisdom, ingenuity, and compassion. You have shown leadership under extreme conditions and guided another species to safety. Humanity is worthy." Elias's chest swelled with pride. He had known humans were capable of great things, but hearing the Queen acknowledge it directly was unlike anything he had experienced. Mara smiled beside him, and for a moment, the weight of the trials fell away, replaced by a deep satisfaction. "Yet there is one final lesson," the Queen continued. "Even in greatness, humility, and cooperation are necessary. You have shown what humans can achieve individually and in small teams. Now demonstrate your capacity to work with others on a planetary scale." Elias's mind raced. This was bigger than any test so far. It was no longer just about survival, leadership, or innovation. It was about humanity as a species, and their ability to cooperate and inspire allies across worlds. The canyon landscape shifted again, revealing a vast city built by the aliens, teetering on the edge of collapse due to seismic instability. Entire districts were at risk, and millions of lives could be affected. The challenge was clear. Elias and Mara had to coordinate planetary-scale disaster management, integrating human problem-solving with alien knowledge and resources. Elias turned to Mara. "We need a plan that combines strategy, communication, and resource allocation. Every decision must save as many lives as possible." Mara nodded. "We've handled emergencies before. We know how to organize, prioritize, and execute. Let's show her what humanity can do at scale." Together, they began. Elias mapped the city's districts, identifying zones most at risk. Mara organized teams of aliens and humans, assigning tasks based on abilities and strengths. Temporary shelters were constructed, evacuation routes were charted, and supply chains were coordinated to deliver essential resources. Despite the chaos, Elias and Mara remained calm, their determination contagious. Aliens who had been frightened now followed instructions, inspired by the human ability to think clearly under pressure. The city's defenses were strengthened, and evacuation proceeded efficiently. At the final moment, a massive quake struck the city's outer districts. Structures trembled and dust filled the air. Yet because of the coordinated plan, no lives were lost. The city remained standing, and its citizens were safe. The Queen observed silently, yet Elias could feel her admiration radiating in his mind. "You have demonstrated what makes humanity exceptional," she said. "Courage, morality, ingenuity, leadership, and the ability to work collectively across species. Your people have the potential to shape worlds, to protect life, and to create alliances that endure." Elias stood tall, exhausted but exhilarated. "So this is it," he whispered. "The proof of what humans can do. The full scope." Mara placed a hand on his shoulder. "Not just proof, inspiration. You've shown that even in the face of overwhelming danger, humans can rise above. That's what makes us different. That's what makes us valuable." Elias nodded. He looked at the Queen's shimmering form in the distance, realizing that her tests had never been about confinement or punishment. They had been a journey, an opportunity to demonstrate the best of humanity. And in doing so, they had shown that humans were capable of greatness, not just individually but collectively, and even across species boundaries. "You have done well, Elias Hart and Mara Chen," the Queen said, her voice carrying satisfaction. "You have fulfilled the trials. Humanity has shown its worth. I have seen what I needed to see." The galaxy is ready to recognize your species' place among the stars. Elias felt a surge of pride, unlike anything he had experienced. He had represented not just himself, but humanity. And in the eyes of one of the galaxy's oldest and wisest beings, humans had earned recognition. Mara smiled, her eyes shining. We've done it. We've proven what humans can do. Yes, Elias said, looking at the horizon, where the twin suns dipped below the crystal mountains. But this isn't just about proving ourselves. It's about what comes next, building alliances, protecting life, and exploring the stars with honor and courage. The Queen's presence began to fade, leaving behind a sense of warmth and promise. The challenges had tested them, shaped them, and shown the universe the true spirit of humanity. Elias and Mara stood together, gazing at the calm landscape that had once been chaos. They had faced the storm, led the lost, and solved the impossible. And as they looked to the stars beyond Zyphora, they knew that humanity's journey had only just begun. The galaxy had witnessed what humans could do, and the Queen's acknowledgement was a beacon of opportunity. They were no longer just explorers. They were ambassadors of human potential, courage, and ingenuity. And for the first time, Elias allowed himself to imagine the future. Humans and aliens working together, discovering new worlds, solving impossible problems, and showing that even in the vastness of space, humanity's spirit would shine brightly. The trials had ended, but the story of what humans could achieve was only beginning. The dust had settled on the canyon, the city, and the valley. The storms and tremors had passed, leaving behind calm landscapes and the quiet hum of alien life returning to normal. Elias Hart and Mara Chen stood on a cliff overlooking the vast stretches of Zyphora, their bodies weary but their spirits soaring. The Queen's presence, powerful and serene, filled their minds once more. "You have shown all that your species can offer?" Her voice resonated. Courage, compassion, ingenuity, leadership, and the ability to cooperate across worlds. Humanity has proven its worth. Elias exhaled, feeling a mixture of relief and pride. Months of trials, tests, and challenges had led to this moment. Humans had shown their strengths in ways the Queen had never seen before, and they had done it not through domination, but through intelligence, ethics, and collaboration. Mara stepped beside him. "So, we're done. Finally." Elias looked out at the horizon, where the twin suns cast their warm glow across the crystal towers and alien forests. "Not just done," he said. "We've made an impression. Humans aren't just survivors. We're problem solvers, leaders, and creators. We've proven that our species can rise to any challenge." The Queen's form shimmered in acknowledgement. "There is one final choice," she said. "You may return to your homeworld, or you may remain here to continue building bonds between our species, to guide, teach, and expand your influence across Zyphora. The decision is yours." Elias exchanged a glance with Mara. He had thought about Earth constantly, about the blue skies, the green forests, and the people he had missed. Yet this offer was unprecedented. To stay on Zyphora was not captivity, it was opportunity. To forge a lasting alliance, to ensure safety, and to demonstrate humanity's positive influence on a galactic scale. Mara broke the silence. "What do you think?" Elias considered the choice carefully. Humans were explorers by nature. They had always sought knowledge, understanding, and connection. And here was a chance to do exactly that, while still remaining true to their home world. "We can't stay forever," he said, "but we can make a difference here first. Show them who we are, and then return to Earth stronger and wiser. Humanity's story isn't just ours. It belongs to the galaxy." The Queen observed his answer, her mind reaching into theirs with a sense of approval. Wise and measured. "You understand that humanity's greatest strength lies not just in its power, but in its responsibility. Over the next days, Elias and Mara worked with the Queen and her advisors to establish frameworks for cooperation between humans and Xiphorans. They shared knowledge about human engineering, medicine, and governance, while learning from the Queen's people about energy management, diplomacy, and ecological balance. It was a partnership built on mutual respect and shared goals. Elias marveled at how quickly humans adapted to alien methods. The combination of human creativity and alien technology produced solutions neither species could achieve alone. From improving energy distribution to designing safer housing, from enhancing communication systems to creating sustainable food sources, the collaboration was astounding. One evening, as the twin suns sat behind the crystal towers, Elias stood at the observation platform, reflecting. Mara joined him quietly, looking out over the glowing landscape. "You know," she said softly, "humans have always thought of themselves as small in the universe, but look at what we've accomplished here. The Queen trusts us. She's even learning from us." Elias smiled. "It's because humans never give up. We find solutions even when they seem impossible. We care for others, we lead when needed, and we create when no one else can. That's what she's seen. And now the galaxy will too." Mara nodded. "I wonder what people on Earth would say if they could see this." Elias chuckled. "They'd be proud, and rightly so. Humanity is capable of amazing things." As they watched the sunset, the Queen's voice entered their minds again. "Your species has exceeded all expectations. I will allow your return to Earth, but know this: humanity has a place among the stars. You are no longer mere explorers. You are ambassadors of life, ingenuity, and cooperation. Carry this knowledge and honor wherever you go." Elias felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Their trials had not been easy, but they had proven that humans were more than survivors. They were creators, leaders, and partners. The Queen's recognition was a validation of everything they had achieved, and it carried a promise that humanity's influence in the galaxy was only beginning. The transport ship awaited, shimmering softly in the thin atmosphere. As Elias and Mara prepared to leave, the Queen presented them with a gift, a crystal imbued with energy patterns and knowledge unique to Xiphora. It was a token of respect, a symbol of their bond, and a reminder of the lessons they had learned. "Keep this," the Queen said in their minds. "It will guide you and remind you of what humanity is capable of." Elias held the crystal carefully, feeling its warmth and energy. "We will," he replied, "and we will use it wisely." Mara smiled. "It's incredible. I can't wait to bring this back to Earth and show them what humans can do." The journey home began, the transport ship lifting smoothly into orbit. As Xiphora receded beneath them, Elias looked at the planet one last time. It had been a crucible of challenges, a place of testing, learning, and proving. They had survived its trials, and more importantly, they had shown the universe the best of humanity. Inside the ship, the hum of engines and the soft glow of the control panels provided a comforting rhythm. Elias and Mara reflected on everything they had experienced: the crystal forests, the storms, the alien species, and the trials designed to measure human potential. Each moment had revealed something essential about their people: adaptability, courage, empathy, intelligence, and leadership. Elias reached out and took Mara's hand briefly. "We've done more than just complete a mission. We've shown that humans can rise to any challenge, no matter how alien or impossible it seems." Mara squeezed his hand in agreement. "And the galaxy knows it now. Humans are more than explorers. We're worthy partners in the universe." The Queen's voice echoed faintly in their minds one last time. "Remember this feeling, Elias Hart and Mara Chen. Humanity is capable of greatness. Use it wisely, and your species will inspire the stars themselves. As the ship accelerated toward the familiar glow of Earth, Elias allowed himself to imagine the possibilities. Humans could now travel the galaxy with not only courage and curiosity, but also a sense of purpose recognized by beings far older and wiser than themselves. Their species was no longer merely a collection of explorers. They were innovators, leaders, and ambassadors of hope. The days passed in quiet reflection as the stars streaked past the ship. Elias thought of the trials on Zephora. Each challenge had revealed the best qualities of humans. The Queen's guidance had tested not only physical and mental skills, but also ethics, leadership, and creativity. It had been a proving ground, and humans had not merely survived, they had excelled. Finally, the blue and green of Earth appeared on the horizon. Elias felt a wave of nostalgia and joy. Home, family, friends, everything he had missed for months. Yet, he also carried with him something far greater, the knowledge that humanity had earned a place among the stars. Mara leaned against the console, watching the planet grow larger. "I think they'll be proud," she said quietly. "And I think they'll understand that humanity is capable of so much more than we imagined." Elias nodded. "We've only just begun. This is the start of a new chapter, one where humans are recognized not just for exploration, but for courage, ingenuity, and the ability to protect and inspire life across worlds." As the ship entered the atmosphere, Elias took a final glance at the stars beyond. Zephora, the Queen, and all the challenges they had faced would remain with them forever. The trials had tested them, shaped them, and revealed the true potential of humanity. Touching down on Earth, the transport doors opened, and fresh air filled the cabin. Elias and Mara stepped out, their eyes wide with wonder and relief. Friends and family rushed to greet them, hugs and smiles filling the space with warmth and joy. Yet Elias knew this was more than a return. It was a homecoming, with purpose. Humans had proven themselves to the galaxy, and the lessons of Zephora would guide them in the challenges yet to come. As they looked up at the sky, where distant stars shimmered, Elias felt a quiet confidence. Humanity had faced the impossible, adapted, and risen to the occasion. The universe had taken notice, and now it was time for humans to continue their journey, carrying the spirit of courage, intelligence, and morality wherever they went. The Queen's crystal rested in Elias's hand, glowing faintly. It was more than a gift. It was a promise and a reminder. Humans were worthy, capable, and ready to embrace the challenges and wonders of the galaxy. And as the sun rose over Earth, Elias knew that humanity's story among the stars had only just begun.